Nirmala ji, this has been widely hailed as one of the dramatic reforms of this government. Obviously, a dil mange more. So, what next? PM has set up 2 official level committees on next gen reforms. 2 group of ministers have also been formed, headed by Amit Shah and Rajnath ji. What can we expect in the coming months? What is the idea going forward? How do you look at reforms in the bigger picture?
Quite a lot of work was done about the next set of reforms which we need to undertake, even prior to 24 Lok Sabha elections. And then some departments moved, like ours moved faster. There are other departments which are moving faster as well, whether it is looking at the environment related issues, sustainability related issues, opening up for private sector, sectors which have been the domain and the privy of the government. These are things where lots of action is happening. Various departments are moving. The science and technology is moving very fast. IT is moving very fast. IT as in semiconductors and other things. So that big area of reform, if you ask me, in which these 2 committees will look at, and also the committee which is headed by former Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba. I expect reforms which will have to now trickle down rather than remaining as a domain of only the union government. The state governments are somewhat also moving towards reforming on very many scales. But the third layer of India's democracy, the urban local bodies and the panchayats, is where the next forceful action has to move. Otherwise, the speed with which we want to move India and the aspirations to be met in India for people to live in a society, live in a country which is fairly developed, and our citizens get their aspirations met. I think we have to take the reform agenda just not to the states but also to the third layer.
As I move to discussing the GDP numbers for Q1, just before that, another last question on GST, which is how will you ensure that you pass on the benefit to the consumers? We've seen anti-profiteering in the past, so how do you plan to tackle this? Is there a way in which the government is looking at it? How do you ensure?
At the moment, there isn't any particular mechanism that I can say I have, but I certainly am seized of the question, also coming from many citizens themselves who are saying, it's great that you've done this, it's great that you're bringing in this kind of a drastic cut in taxes, but how will you ensure that we'll benefit from it? And how will you ensure that it's not going to disappear on the course to reach? We'll have to keep talking with industry, we'll have to nudge them, we'll have to, I'm glad in the case of the insurance sector, the public sector insurance companies have come forward to openly say that they will indeed pass the rate cuts to the citizens, those who are taking the insurance for themselves. So I'm sure the private sector would also do it in insurance, and so with other things.
You're expecting them to announce that they will pass on the benefit?
Many of them are doing it.
Couple of them have, some of them have announced.